Reporting. The Dutch Senate votes today on banning people from wearing burqas and balaclava helmets in public places and on buses. The ban includes a €400 fine for people who cover their faces in government buildings, on public transport and in schools and hospitals. Well, to discuss this, I'm joined by Dutch journalist and European affairs analyst Stefan de Vries. Stefan, the idea of banning face coverings, a Burka ban in the Netherlands, first reared its head about a decade ago. Why has it taken so long?
Well, first of all, it was a bill proposed by, at that time, a single MP of a very small party, Geert Wilders. He's now very famous, of course, as the right-wing populist leader in the Netherlands and also in Europe. It's one of those parliamentary oddities that can take a bill so long to finally arrive at the Senate. At the same time, the topic has become more news the last couple of months, of course. We've seen a similar ban in Denmark. The news are talking a lot about the migrant crisis. So it's basically related to the news, but I think in general it's just the slow process of the Dutch parliament, mainly because most of the parties don't think this law is really necessary and they don't see why or what problems this bill would solve.
Well, and we must remember that there are only said to be about 150 women who wear the burqa on a daily basis in the Netherlands. But what would the law say? What exactly would it detail, and how would it differ from those countries that you mentioned, from countries like France and Denmark, which also have imposed a similar sort of ban?
Well, compared to the other European countries, it's a pretty liberal ban, actually. It only bans women of wearing a burqa or other people wearing masks in public spaces like hospitals, schools and the public transportation. So it is not forbidden in the streets. People can still wear those clothes in the streets because mainly the Dutch are very attached to civil liberties. A lot of parties say, well, there is no problem with these women. There are only 150, like you just mentioned, on a population of about 17 million people. So it's not a serious issue. And the Minister of Home Affairs already said that she will leave it up to the institutions like schools and hospitals to maintain this law. She will not enforce it, or the police will not enforce it. In theory, there will be a €400 fine, but it now looks very likely that this law will not be enforced, and so it will more be a symbolic vote, but nevertheless an important one. It is again a sign of tougher laws against immigrants in the European Union.
Stefan, thank you. Stefan de Vries there, and do continue watching Euronews for the results of that vote later today.